Okay, welcome to our show conversation today. I'm going to be talking about the eighth house. Let me go ahead and put my disclaimer in really quickly. As usual, sometimes it can get loud, but I don't foresee that because as of lately, I've been on some mellow stuff, so I don't, foresee me doing all that. If I do curse, it's just the way I get down. If we don't like it, don't listen. And I do talk about sexuality, but today I'm going to be talking about sexual behavior. I'm going to be talking about the men's sexual organ. And in this series, I'm going to be talking about if this person has this placement, how big, how small it can be. Okay. I'm also going to be talking about sexuality and just the eighth house in general. Okay. I'll also be talking about women as well. So definitely, if you're listening and you're a woman, this is definitely going to be for you as well. All right. So I think I told you guys before that basically, Venus in a man's chart will highly likely represent his wife or somebody he's attracted to. So, for example, if a man has, let's say, Venus and Aries, he may be attracted to women who are very active, they're fiery, they're impulsive. Close the door. Yes. Yeah, and you can bring a scooter. They're impulsive. Hold on for a second. They're impulsive, or again, they may just be like an Aries sign. So they may have an Aries sun sign. They may have a Mars in Aries. They may have a Venus in Aries or a Moon in Aries. Okay. In a woman's chart, which I did a video about that, about a woman, wherever she has Jupiter, is highly likely. Let's say if she has Jupiter in Aries, same thing applies. She may, attract or be in a relationship with a man who has Aries, or may be attracted to somebody who has Aries-like energy, or, things like that. So Jupiter in a woman's chart is a kind of man that she's highly likely to marry or be attracted to or have those traits. Okay. Mars in a woman's chart is a man that is most likely going to be her lover, but not so her husband. A moon in a woman's chart is most likely to be her husband, but not quite her lover. See, there's a difference. I mean, we all have lovers, we have husbands, wives, and it is deep. Okay. But what I found interesting, and again, this is just information that I came across, guys. I didn't make it up. Okay. I just found the information and I just gathered a whole bunch of information and I have it here on my files. And I'm like, what's the point of keeping it on my computer, keeping it to myself and not sharing it? Because this is basically what this channel was originated about. It was originated from, I wanted to know the truth and I wanted to know it in its rawest form, even though it may hurt. And I basically was using this channel as a loudspeaker. So I can personally review the information if I had to go over. And to be honest with you, I mean, for those who've been with me for a long time, it was to a point where I remember I used to get on here and maybe every so often I would get on here and sometimes I would cry. And I was saying some personal shit on this channel. I mean, for those who've been with me for a long time, they know what's up with me. And they know, how I broke down and stuff like that. So, basically, this channel, basically, the reason for me saying that is that this channel has become like a healing source for me. And believe it or not, the information, guys, which I never ever imagined that the information that I found would even heal me spiritually. And through the spiritual healing, it healed me physically. And it's like I transformed into another being. It could also, it could also have something to do with the fact that, I'm now in my 40s, and I'm more mature. So, I went through my Saturn return. I went through hell last summer, which I keep talking about it all the time. So, I went through a lot of transformations, and even myself, I have eighth house. Okay. I have eighth house in my chart, and I've been through a lot, guys. I haven't even told you the shit that I've been through. Only told like a few people of like some traumatic events that I went through, which I don't even really want to talk about it right now because it was so traumatic. That I don't really want to revisit it right now because that energy, that energy was, man, that shit was, it was cold. It was cold like ice. And I'm happy to be here now talking to you guys, with a person who I wouldn't say quite made it because, I'm not 100 years old yet, but I definitely been through the storm. With having an eighth house placement. So, if you have eighth house, basically, according to the information, they're saying that eighth house, it represents our genitals. Okay. And it's basically where we're going to face our extremes, where we're going to be vulnerable, and basically where we can go from riches to rags and then rags to riches. Okay. So for those who have eighth house, if you're going through the struggle, keep hanging on because there's a lottery winners here. There's people that just got so sick and tired of struggling, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to make something out of nothing. If I have to fucking roll up my sleeves, roll up my pants, and get in the mud and find out all I can find out, and build an empire, I'm going to do that. So this is where you're going to find millionaires from the eighth house. You're going to find people who have been through trials and tribulations, and they remember their past. They remember the struggle. And you know what? They're like, you know what? I've been through some bullshit. I am not finna let, my children go through this. I'm not going through this. And they're busting their ass. But, it's a lot of trials and tribulations here. So people who have the eighth house, they really want to know about it. But guys, they're saying that if you have the eighth house in your chart, okay, whatever is ruling that house, excuse me, people with the eighth house, for whatever reason, they have a lot of secret admirers, okay? And, that shouldn't be like a big shock because eighth house is like a Scorpion house. It deals with secrets, mystery, research. So if you're dealing with that, if you're fucking with that energy, then you're going to be attracting people with that energy, okay? So you're going to have a lot of love and lust and secret affairs if you have the eighth house. And that's going to be for both the male and the female, okay? Nobody's exempt. People with the eighth house, they usually are holders of a lot of secret information, okay? They may try to act like they don't know something, but they know shit. But they're not going to tell you, okay? Another thing I notice about people with the eighth house, and I want to mention this before I forget, because I've been looking at people with the eighth house, is for whatever reason, when you see them, they look really, really serious. But when you get to talk to them, they're not like how they look, okay? People with the eighth house generally look really mean, or they act really mean, or something about them seems kind of mean. So people kind of might be like a little bit afraid to deal with people with the eighth house. And it's not that they're mean people. It's just that they've been through some bullshit. Okay. And they got some stories to tell. And, when they meet people or when they communicate with people or when they're dealing with people, they not really going to be on some holly jolly bullshit, okay? They're going to be looking at you with a poker face, and they're going to be staring at you with your eyes, staring at you in your eyes, and they want to know the truth about what the fuck is going on and what you're about. So people with 8th house placements come off extreme. So a lot of people may be afraid to deal with people that have 8th house placements, okay? Again, this is dealing with the deep, the down and the dirty. So when you're dealing with the down and the dirty, you're going to have some secret love affairs going on in this house. People with 8th house, hands down, these are the people who are going to have a little bit of psychic energy about them. They're not trying to be a psychic. There's people out there that talk about, I'm a psychic, I'm a psychic, I'm a psychic. You're like, okay, bitch, you a psychic, but what? No. 8th house people, they're psychic, but they don't brag about it, okay? Shit comes to them in their dreams. Shit just appears in front of them, sometimes without looking, aggressively. They look, but it comes up and they're like, oh shit, I can't believe this about this motherfucker or this, bitch or whatever. And, they hold that secret, it's like, I know that bitch, or I know that, and, they're a psychic like that. It's saying here that women who have 8th house, they have really close friendships. They have lovers, okay? They have a lot of, they probably communicate a lot with females in their family more than men. Again, they're psychic. They could be psychic, but not really brag about it, because 8th house is like secrets. 8th house is like hiding. They may be out. See, I'm an INFJ, which is introverted. I have a lot of introverted placements in my chart, but there's some placements in my chart that have Leo in it that is like out there. You know what I mean? So I'm back, but I'm out. I'm out, but I'm back. So just because a person has an 8th house doesn't mean that they're all introverted and, everything is in. Some things can be extroverted, okay? But at the same time, it's extroverted, but it's penetrating. It's extroverted and it's introverted, but it's secretive, but you're attracted to it because for some reason there's something about it that's intense. And, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'd be wanting to say some shit, but I'm like, nah, I'm not going to go there. And the reason why I'm not going to go there is because, I've been digging in my own chart. And I was surprised. And I dug in my chart, like I said, like maybe, over 5 years ago. And I did look at some stuff and I did read some stuff, but I wasn't so deeply into astrology like I'm into it now. And I did see where they said I was into the occult and blah, 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 and this, that, and third. And I'm like, occult? When I read that a couple of years ago, I'm like, fuck no. Because, like back in those days, like I was in the church. I probably been to every kind of church, every kind of religion that you can think of. I was trying to find myself and, and when I read that, when I was, into the church, and believe it or not, the last church that I went to, guys, probably wasn't quote unquote the last church, but it was one of the few last churches that I went to was, what's his name? Oh, God. What is his name? It's not Creflo Dollar. Yeah. Damn, what's his name? I can't even think of his name right now. But anyways, it's a man's church that I went to a long time ago. And basically, the man was running game on everybody in the church. And he was sexually abusing people. And I remember the last time I went to his church. Okay, that was right before everything had fell down. a rumor came out, and he affected a lot of people's lives. And I wasn't surprised, because when I went into the environment, I picked up on the vibe, and the vibe told me there's some bullshit going on in this motherfucking house, and I don't need to be here, okay? So that was like around, the last time I had went through the system. And from there, I've never really been a part of religion ever since then. And it's kind of disappointing because, as a child, I was raised in religion. I went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school for like many, many years. I was raised up in that religion. I went through the rituals and everything. And it's like, I've been through all these different religious systems, and here I am in astrology. So it's like night and day. And it's like, how did I get here? And they mentioned some things in my chart, and it's kind of like concerning me to the point where I even feel like sometimes I don't even know if I'm going to even hold on to this channel. I think that this is something that I'm going to be doing as, just entertainment purposes, and just for relaxation, information gathering. But I'm definitely not trying to make a career out of this, okay? Because in my 5th house, okay, I had saw some things that have already manifested into my life that I really want to concentrate on. And I'm glad that I was able to see that, because, I know that it's real, and I know that it's real because I've been through some trials and tribulations, and I tested it. And I tested the waters to see if things will go through, and some things did go through. So since that went through, okay, which only a few people know about it, I think I'm going to concentrate more on that side, because it's more so fun, This, astrology shit is really fucking serious. And I really didn't really realize how serious. I mean, this shit is more so like a religion. Like, some people take like astrology like it's the Bible. Like, they not playing. They real serious, and they not playing. Okay? And I got a whole bunch of troll accounts that are subscribed to my channel, and they lining up for my ass. Because, I got them secret enemies in my chart that I do know about. Okay? So this shit is serious. So I don't think that I'm going to be on it like this. You know what I'm saying? This is why I have explained before. I don't read nobody's chart or whatever. I put the information on the channel because if you have any of these elements in your chart, you can read yourself. You don't need nobody to read you. Okay? You can read yourself. So anyway, let me go back to the information because I'm getting way off the topic. Okay? But basically, women who have 8th house in their chart, I did explain this before, but they can be very attractive. They can be mentally and penetrating to other people. If you have physical sex with them, or if you have sexual intimacy with women who have 8th house placements, whatever the placements is in their charts, shit can get really intense. And it can even get dangerous. The next show that I really want to do, but I don't even think it's going to be the next show, because I want to talk about some other subjects. I've been trying to go live forever and ever on my channel, okay? Because I wanted to, talk about Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby has some placements in his chart that I already had placed. I didn't see any 29 degrees, but he has some other placements in his chart that I wanted to talk about on my channel. And it has everything to do with karma. So hopefully by next week, I can get my chicks in order, because I got some chicks. They busy. I'm busy. We trying to connect. Ain't nobody connecting. Ain't nobody, So hopefully by next week, I can connect and we can go live and we could talk about things and I can interact with you guys as well. But, yeah. So the 8th house, it deals with physical intimacy, intensity, catastrophic events, that may affect in regards to intimacy. So I think I mentioned this before. If a woman has the 8th house, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear of stories of, sexual abuse, rape, stalkism, violence, and things like that, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me hurry up and get through this because got a couple of Tauruses around me. We celebrating birthdays like a mug, though. You know what I mean? Love my Tauruses and all that. I got my cat from the neighborhood. He comes and he holds me down with his flea ass. I gotta get him a collar. Anyway, people, women in the 8th house, they may have a lot of secret agreements with people. Let me talk to you about the 8th house real quick. So people with the 8th house, especially women and men, it doesn't matter. But you may find that people who have 8th house placements, they may be interested or may be working in emergency medicine. They may be fishermen, so they may be on ships. They may be recovery divers. Okay, so you're going to find your coast guards, your lifeguards here. People who deep diving, cosmetic surgeons, okay? People who's into astrology, okay? You're gonna definitely find them here. They want to know why they've been through some trials and tribulations and how can they heal from the trauma. So you're gonna find a lot of people 8th house with that. Remember, I think I mentioned this in the video that I did last year. Basically, people who have 8th house, it's about legacy, it's about other people's money, it's about lawsuits, it's about insurance payout, and things like that. So, if a woman has an 8th house in her chart, okay, and she good with her daddy, okay, call your daddy. He may be like, baby girl, you on my world. And I'm about to be out of here. I'm about to leave this plane. So, as a gift, I'm going to leave you a house. I'm going to leave you some money. And you may find yourself stressed the fuck out in traffic. Because I've been there and done that. Hating all kind of motherfuckers at the job. Tired of every goddamn body. About to put somebody to shame. Because you're just so tired. And one day, something happens, unfortunately, and your daddy done set you up, okay, for life. And you never have to sit in traffic again, and you never have to deal with these bitches at the job. Okay, that's the 8th house. 8th house is where you're going to find lottery winners, okay? If you don't find lottery winners, you may be close to winning the lottery here, okay? So put good karma out. Good karma will come in. And play your numbers. There's a lot of lottery winners here, especially if you have Jupiter in the 8th. Play it, okay? Play that number. People with the 8th house, they may be also interested in fields like midwifery. So if it's a woman, she may be, interested in becoming a midwife. And let me tell you something. If you're interested in becoming a midwife, baby girl, go do it because you might be good at it. Emergency medicine, working in the ER. I did mention cosmetic surgery. Again, you may gain wealth from being married to a wealthy man, or maybe your daddy, maybe he will hook you up, or maybe some type of family inheritance. Ladies, look into it. If you have 8th house, the family, they be on some site, she said, where they don't want to tell you land is in your name. You better go and dig. You better go and call a lawyer. You may have some land in your name. Men and women, 8th house. Okay. Let me see. What else? What else? Okay, so where am I at? Okay, it says also if you have 8th house placements for some. Okay, come on, 8th house placements. It's almost a guarantee that this person is digging into astrology, or maybe into astrology, into psychology, into metaphysics, into medicine, into law, into anything that's intense. So if it's dealing with the medical field, this is where you're going to find your surgeon, your plastic surgeon. Somebody's cutting and slicing that body down. The lawyer, you're going to find a lawyer with this placement, because like I said, when you see people with 8th house placement, they not really playing with you. They smile, they joke, but 80% of the time it's really serious. Okay. And they could cut and slice somebody in court. So this is where you're going to find your judge, your jury. Women with this placement, again, they're going to be researchers. So if you're dealing with a woman with the 8th house and you're lying to her, you can lie, but it ain't gonna last long, because she's gonna find out some stuff about you. It's gonna come to her easy. People with the 8th house, you may find that they work a lot within the government and anything to do with public policy. These are definitely people who's gonna call their governor. They're gonna call the president, okay? And they're not gonna be worried about it. They're gonna get through to the government. They're gonna get to the president. They're going to have friends with the CEO of any establishments. These people are hardcore. They don't play. I think I did say before, if there's Venus. Well, no. I think this is where I'm getting into the part where we're talking about sexual organs now. Okay. So ladies, listen up, because I done found out something. Okay. We are outside. What are you talking about? Well, you can go inside. I'm outside. But anyway, Venus in the 8th. Venus in the 8th, man. You know what? I gotta do a special video on that, because the things that I was coming across, I wasn't really feeling it. And if women have Venus in the 8th, I mean, hands down, I know that they're going through some hardship, man. But it's coming up that if a woman has Venus in the 8th, she's going to be transformed, most likely because of her relationship. Okay. And, a person with Venus in the 8th, unfortunately, is probably going to be in a relationship with a man who's jealous. And he's controlling. And the reason why he's so jealous and controlling, because that my baby girl with Venus in the 8th, she got that sexual heat. Ooh, yes, girl. Don't put it on him too hard now, because he gonna have a dog chain around that neck, baby girl. He gonna be calling like, where the fuck you at? Where the fuck you at? I went to the bathroom, motherfucker. That's where I'm at. If you have Sun in the 8th, okay, if you're a woman with Sun in the 8th, women with Sun in the 8th, these women are going to be extremely stressed out. They may suffer from headaches. And it was funny because they said that, a woman with Sun in the 8th, she may not have a lot of kids. She may have no kids, or she may just have one kid. She may have a lot of government dealings, or the government may be on her side, and her lucky years of life would be around the age of 22, especially dealing with the government. Venus in the 8th house people are truthful people. They're not fucking liars, okay? The men the same. If they have Sun in the 8th, not Venus in the 8th, I'm sorry about that. If they have Sun in the 8th, they're truthful people. They're not liars. Men who have Sun in the 8th, they're truthful as well. Okay? They're good people. They're king-like people. The men who have Sun in the 8th, they're strong men. And a lot of people may want to test them, but for whatever reason, the sun in the 8th is like, come over here, motherfucker. I dare you. I dare. Not that many people could touch or fuck with people who have sun in the 8th, okay? And the reason for that is because a sun in the 8th house person, they have a short temper, okay? And they can be impatient. And they like, you know what? I'm just as hot as your ass, motherfucker. Come over here. Let's do this. A person with the sun in the 8th, they may feel sick a lot for whatever reason. Let me tell you something. Okay, this is where we're going to get a little dirty with it. Okay, hold me down with the dirt. Hold me down with the dirt. Sun in the 8th house, they not small, okay? They got a nice little handle in their pocket. So they got a nice little hand to hold on to, okay? People with the sun in the 8th, they're definitely interested in astrology. They're into the occult. They're into psychology. They're into finding out how people think, how people work, how people tick. Okay, they're into mysteries. They like scary stories. Okay, remember that show Unsolved Mysteries, and that's fucking spooky ass. Ooh, I can't even think of it. Like, oh my god, like I'm thinking of the fucking sound right now. Like oh shit, this is fucking me up. Like the sound fucks me up. Like man, the 80s and the 90s was the bomb because they was into it, and they was into the mystery, the murders, the crimes, and all that. But they was strategic, and it was some serious shit going on. Now it seems like everybody's in like la la land. Everything seems so artificial and fake, and everything is so fucking happy. And people with the 8th house knows that this is all a fucking placebo. Motherfuckers is putting on a show. That's why nobody's watching TV no more. Because TV is on the internet. People are basically turning into the people that they watched back into the 80s and 90s and putting off our show for people. People with the 8th house knows that, please, that's game, and we're not falling for that. So people with the sun in the 8th house, they're into that Freddy Krueger, that Jason, that Woods, that unsolved mystery. Okay? So they're into psychology. And, people with the sun in the 8th house, again, especially women, relationships, they could be they could be real deep. If you're with the wrong partner, whether you're a sun in the 8th house, man or woman, relationships could be so deep that, it could be some fear there, If you have Mercury in the 8th house, it's not like the best placement or whatever, okay? And the reason for that is because a lot of people with Mercury in the 8th, these are the type of people who are going to say, you know what, I have 8th house in my chart. Mercury is falling there, and unfortunately, I have been a victim of circumstance. I'm dealing with some things in regards to physical, and financially. I've been through some shit. I'm going through hard times, and if they're over the age of 35, they may tell you stories that they went through the hardest time financially between the ages of 32 and 34. That's when it hit them the hardest. So women who have Mercury in the 8th, they themselves may only have just one child for whatever reason. People with Mercury in the 8th, you probably wouldn't be surprised to hear that, they said, I've been locked up, okay, and they ain't trying to let me out. I was in the hospital. Things were very unstable in regards to home life. I had some issues with the government. People with Mercury in the 8th house, for whatever reason, it was coming up that, they may have some issues with the eye. So these are the people that, they're most likely wearing contacts or glasses. And then some issues with the mouth as well. They may say, I had a fight and somebody knocked my tooth out, or they may have like some missing tooth or something to do with like the root canal. Women with Mercury in the 8th may have issues with varicose veins, and both men and women may talk about some losses in business. Okay. People with Mercury in the 8th, they may say, you know what? I had a sexual experience at a very, very young age, and it's not something that I was looking forward to. Or maybe they did look forward to it, but it was very early. I mean, they had sex early. Okay. If a person has Mercury in the 8th and it's a man, they may be a little bit undersized. Okay. They may not be not that big, good organ or whatever, not that big. But they're, due to the fact that there was some sexual experiences going on so early on, in their life that, now they're adult, they're still dealing with these issues from, sexual experiences that they had early on in their life. Then now that they're older, there is some issues coming up. There are some issues coming up. But if it's coming up, guys, it's only because, most likely this has something to do with early age shit. And you have to exhaust that energy. You have to cry. You have to let it loose. You have to you just have to go through the pain. And then once you go through the pain and you exhaust it, and you see the karma, you understand the karma, you're dealing with the karma, and you're coming to the point where you're going to let it go. Okay. You're going to wash yourself of all of this pain and just start a new chapter. Then you may see that, if you're having any issues, that you start to heal in that area, you recognize it, and you're going to let it go. People with Mercury in the 8th house, they're the people they're very deep thinkers, very good at investigating, very good at communication. But at times, people may say that they're not clear on what they're communicating. So people with the Mercury in 8th house, they know what they're talking about, but for whatever reason, people can't understand what the fuck they're saying. Okay. So people with Mercury in the 8th house, if they talk fast, you might want to just slow it down just a little bit, just a little bit. It's a move, a little bit. I remember that song. Looks like this is ending soon, so I'm probably gonna have to piggyback on this. Because I want to get this out and I want to get this done. But let's see. Woo! I gotta end it on this, baby. I gotta end it on this, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna post us. Man, let me tell you something, ladies. Woo, ladies! Hold on, ladies. Whew, okay. Now, we all know Jupiter. Wherever Jupiter is, that means big. Okay, that means fun. That means large. Okay, that's what that means. Okay, so wherever you have Jupiter in your chart, okay, you wanna go and you wanna see, you wanna peek in that house and see what's going on in there. But if he's a man and he has Jupiter in there, baby girl, let me tell you, this man most likely is packing like the UPS, okay, girl? He's packing like the UPS. And if he ain't long, he's definitely thick. People who have Jupiter in the 8th, let me not get too dirty now. This is basically where you're gonna find a person who's highly likely to win the lotto. Okay, dumb luck. And if it's not dumb luck, excuse me, this is the person who is going to get wealth through marriage, through partnership, through inheritance. And you definitely want to probably look into the occult, okay? Things that are hidden, because you're going to find wealth and things that are hidden. I found a lot of wealth and things that were hidden, actually. People, you know what? Another thing I wanted to say real quick. People who have the 8th house, sometimes they're attracted to, like, people who are not popular. You know, and I wanted to do a show about that last night, because I don't know if it's my 8th house. I don't know if it's aspects in my chart, or I don't know if it's the INFJ thing that I got going on. But I'm not really attracted to anything big. Anytime I start seeing things that's big, that's like a fucking turn off to me. Like, I'm like, nah. I mean, I like intimacy. I like small. I like to get to know small groups, you know, because I don't know what it is. But like I said, I don't know if it was my INFJ, and I did want to do a video last night, but I'm like, I reached like over 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, oh my god, I can't fucking put my ass on a line no more, because people are listening and shit like that. So I don't know if it's the INFJ, but anyway, let me, you know, I think I could finish this tonight. Let me see. Oh my god, I better hurry up. I'm gonna have to come back with a part 2. Because if you have Mars in the 8th house, definitely you want to make sure, close that door. Definitely you want to make sure that, you know, you're on the up and up in regards to your social standing and social media and in general. If a woman has Mars in the 8th house, then, you know, definitely she may have some issues within the marriage. Wouldn't even be surprised if this woman has said that, you know, I was married, I got a divorce, fuck him. Let me see. People with Mars in the 8th house. Yeah, definitely some life-changing events. Definitely some life-changing events around the age of 16 and 20. Let me just make sure I got that right, because I want to make sure. Let me see. Yeah, so if a person has, what is this? I don't think that was it. Oh yeah, another placement had this too. But basically, if you have Mars in the 8th house, for whatever reason, you may find that a lot of, there was a lot of like fucking turbulent shit going on around the age of 16 or 20 something years old. What happened? What? Okay, I don't need you to do that, okay? You can go inside. You know what? As a matter of fact, go inside right now, because I'm about to. There's somebody. Shh. There's where's somebody? Where? Up the street. Okay, well they're way up there. That has nothing to do with us. But anyway, I'm doing the show, so hold me down. Yeah, so if you have, let me see, where are we at? So Mars in the 8th, I think this is what we're talking about. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so if you have Mars in 8th house, definitely going to be dealing with property and other people's money. What?
Coming down the street.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to come back with part 2.